Hey guys, thanks for stopping. Hey, in this video, we are going to be making the Alaine handbag. This is by moremeknow.com. I will have all the info listed in the description box below if you need to know where to purchase the pattern, where the hardware came from, all of it, where I got my material. It'll all be in the description box below. I will, however, say that on all of my cotton, which is what this fabric is, I used one layer of Woven Fuse 1 and one layer of Decoville Light. All of my interfacing I got from Barb's Bags got interfacing. Again, that link will be in the description box below. On the bottom, the stabilizer I used was Decoville Heavy. Also, Barb's Bags got interfacing. Let's see, these side panels, let me put you down a little bit. These side panels are like a soft, it's like a vinyl, but it's not like a, it's like a fabric-y on the back. Anyway, I used a layer of Decoville Light on each of my side panels as well. So let's see. I don't think there's anything else. Yep, it's the Alaine handbag, moremeknow.com. I kind of made my own slip pocket. I'm pretty sure she has instructions in the pattern to do a slip pocket. I wanted to do mine my way. I don't know. So I kind of go over how I did that in the video as well. If you wanted, you could put a magnetic snap here to keep it shut, but I kind of like I don't know. I like it open. Yeah. So there's not really a whole bunch else to say. I'll show you the bag really quick. I have a zipper pocket, if I can unzip it, right there. And then I kind of made my own slip pocket too. And then there's like a little pen holders, if that's what you want to call them. I'll go over that in the video too, of course. But I don't think this is part of her pattern. It may be. I did not read the pattern. I've made so many bags now that I kind of just know how they go together, and I just kind of do my own thing. But I did try to go in the order that the pattern is written. That way you could kind of follow along if you're following the pattern. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and rivet my straps and be done with it. But that's the bag. It's a nice size. Yeah. All right. Enjoy the video. Okay, so first things first, we want to do our straps. We have a full bobbin, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. I have one done already. I'm gonna lay it off to the side. When you're doing your straps, it's best if you draw a line down the center long ways. You can use, like I did, 2 1/4 of an inch double-sided sticky tape pieces on the edge. We're gonna peel that and fold our strap right next to that center line, not right on top of it. Or you could use a 1/2 of an inch double-sided sticky tape down the center and then peel it and then stick these long edges. If you don't have sticky tape, you can use clips. Just when you fold it in, right next to that center line, put a clip, and fold a little bit more, put a clip. So clips work good too. It's just a little bit more work, a little bit more hectic to, get everything to line up, but they do work. Don't feel like you absolutely have to go out and buy double-sided sticky tape. Speaking of double-sided sticky tape, I bought mine from waywack.com. W-A-W-A-K, Waywack. I watch a lot of videos from So Whatever Facebook group. Lauren, Moremeknow. She is an awesome teacher. Everything I've learned, I think, bag making, I've pretty much learned it from her. She's awesome. But okay, so now I have those folded. See, they're not quite touching. That's way when we fold this in half, it kind of just folds really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch all 4 sides of my strap. I am going to use a 4 for a stitch length. Okay. Okay. Now both of my straps are done. I'm going to lay those off to the side right now. And then we're going to do our strap connectors. I did according to the pattern. I believe it's 2 by 4. I think I have 4 of them. I'm not going to do the side crossbody strap on this bag. It's only going to be shoulder straps, so that's why I only have 4 of these. I did add a 1-inch strip of Decaville Light. I made it a little bit too big, so I had to peel it off, but no one will ever notice. But yeah, Decaville Light. And then I added a 1/2-inch strip of double-sided sticky tape. So I'm gonna peel that and then fold these edges in. The Decaville Light will just help give the strap connector some durability, stability, whatever, for, you know, as it's being used day after day after day. It just kind of helps it keep it from like ripping, I guess. I can't use my words today, apparently. So that's what we have. And then we're gonna put our square rings on here. But I wanna go ahead and fold all these into the center first. Okay. Now these long edges, you can butt them right up next to each other. You don't have to leave a space like you did for the strap, because we're not gonna fold them again. We're gonna leave them just like this. You guys, it has been so long since I've done a video. I have missed doing them. I like to read everyone's comments, and I was gonna do a live video, but it was kind of last minute when I decided to do this, so I just decided to go ahead and make it kind of like a tutorial. I think I'll do maybe a premiere on YouTube. That way, if anyone wants to chat while they're watching it, we could do that. But for now, I'm just gonna do this video. We'll see how I'm feeling when it comes time to post it, if I want to do a premiere or not. Okay, I'm gonna need some clips here. Actually, some more tape. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have this edge we just folded under in our flat edge. The edge we folded under, we're going to fold it in. We have our square ring on here. And then fold this end up, okay? Before I do that, I wanna put a little bit of sticky tape on the inside. And again, if you don't have sticky tape or you're using a domestic and that won't work, use clips until you can get it to your machine and, you know, and sew it. But I can use double-sided sticky tape, so I'm going to. And that's where we have it. We don't wanna put our ring on the double-sided sticky tape and fold it over. We want it to kind of be out of the way. We don't want the ring to touch the sticky, because we want it to be able to flop around, and if it gets on that sticky, it won't want to move, and it'll be kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm just going to peel the paper off and stick that down, and then I'm going to do it to all of the other ones. And then I'm going to use another piece of tape. I know, a lot of tape. Okay, and this will help it, the edge we just folded over, this will help it stick to the bag. That might be a little long. Let me cut it down a little smidge here. Okay, it helps it stay closed for one, but then when we go to put this on the bag to place it, we can just peel this off and stick it on the bag, and then it'll stay. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for the rest of these. I kind of figure out where I want it to be. I fold it, and then I cut. I don't know why I'm cutting that so weirdly, but Okay, let's see. Trying to think if anything new and exciting has happened that we can talk about. Not too much. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Okay. Usually my dog is in here bothering me, especially, it's been a while since I've done a video. I'm surprised he's not annoying me or trying to get my attention, not annoying me. He's an angel. He would never annoy me. He's my baby. But I am kind of surprised he's not in here. There is just not a lot going on in my life right now. I mean, we're busy, constantly doing something, but like anything exciting, and oh, I can't think of nothing. The boys came home to visit. They took some leave. It was nice to see them. I think I talked a little bit about that in the last video I did. We went and looked at some cabinet samples. We're trying to, well, we are going to redo our kitchen. When we first moved in, we didn't have a lot of money for a lot of upgrades, so we did what we could, and the kitchen cabinets just got painted. So we've redone every single room since then, but the kitchen. So I'm excited to finally get this kitchen redone and get some really nice cabinets and stuff. So we're kind of in the process of doing that right now. I think I'm going to do some like gray tile for the floor. And I don't know, marbly white looking countertops. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next up, I just finished all of my strap connectors. I want to put them on my main panel. You go in 2 inches and down from the top 1.5. I've already made my marks, if you can see. And right there, where that mark is, 2 in and down 1.25, you're going to put, if I can hold it, this corner on that mark. You're not going to, can you see my mark? You want to put the corner right there. You don't want to center it, you want to put the corner. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. But I just want to make that clear. That's what we're going to do to center these or whatever, place them on our panels. Isn't this fabric just the cutest? I found it at Walmart. It's not something I would necessarily carry. It's not my thing, but I really like it. Maybe I will carry it. I don't know. I'm just making it just because right now. So just because I want to make a video and I want to sew something. Okay, there's one. I'll go ahead and peel the sticky off and we'll place the other one. Okay, I'm going to grab my ruler, which is right here, and I just want to fold my little squares down so they're out of the way, and I want to lay my ruler on here and just kind of double check my placement. We are good. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the other ones on as well, on my other one, and that way when I go to sew, I can just sew them, all 4 strap connectors. I'm gonna actually stand up. It's a little bit easier for me to place them if I'm standing. So I feel like I should have done a live because I actually curled my hair today. I have makeup on. I don't know why I didn't do a live. I got all pretty, not necessarily just because of the video, but just I got pretty. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use, gosh, I don't know, 3.5, 4 stitch length, something like that. And I'm just gonna sew all the way around and maybe corner to corner. Not an X, but just one diagonal line. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Go backwards, spin it, to corner. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump to the other one. Go ahead and clip these off right now. I went too far. That's all right. Okay. Okay. Let's clip these. All right. That is what those look like with just a little diagonal line. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other ones. Okay, same exact thing. So I originally planned on making this bag to match, well, I made the, if anyone watched any of my previous videos, I made the Annette bag, and I did like a Mustang logo emblem thing, vinyl overlay, whatever you want to call it. And the bag just, the Annette wasn't big enough for what I needed to carry to work, so I wanted a bigger bag. And it was the first time I've ever made the Alaine, and I thought, well, that'd be fun, just do a little video on it. So I worked a night shift the day that I had wanted to make it, and I planned on staying up all day because I didn't have to work that night, so I was just gonna stay up and sew and poke around the house. And I did actually record it. Did you ever realize sometimes when you're tired, like you can't talk right sometimes, or you say your words wrong, or you need sleep, you know? So your brain just doesn't want to work right. Well, that's what happened to me the day I tried to record it. My brain didn't want to work right, and yeah, I was all over the place. I recorded pretty much the whole entire thing. And at the end, I was like, you know what? I sound like a drunk person. I'm not going to post this. So I would have posted a video on this a long time ago, but yeah, I know better than to make bags when I haven't had any sleep. So, all right, now this is, let's see, this is my version. I know Lauren has a couple different ways of doing like a front pocket or zipper type thing on hers. This is what I do. Let's see. This, it's basically a slip pocket. That's all it is. That's what I'm working on now, is this part. So in order to do that, I kind of measured up on the regular panel that she gave us. I think her pattern piece actually has a spot that you can fold the pattern piece over and then trace out to get this pocket, but I did not do that. I can even measure mine really quick. It is 8 by 10, 8 by 10, okay? And I just kind of measured out where I thought it would look good, and I cut. What I did here was I did 8 by 10, but I made this one a little bit taller than the 8 by 10. And this one is actually a 9.5. It's 1.5 inches taller. And you'll see why I did that. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. But I did, okay, the front of my slip pocket, this is what I want. I want 8 by 10, okay? And then for the lining and a little bit that's gonna show, you know, on the top edge for my vinyl, I did, yeah, I was right, 9.5 by 10. Okay, so we wanna put right sides together, okay? Make sure your directional top is at the top, okay? and we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Throw a couple clips in here so it stays. That's always a good idea. I feel like when I confuse myself, I need to keep explaining it, even though you're probably not confused, but I am. I don't know. I feel like that whole little thing right there just like was crazy, but okay. Okay, 1/2 inch, woo, 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I know what you're thinking, this one's too long. They don't match up. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to we're gonna open it up and match up wrong sides together the bottom. We want that little bit of extra vinyl on top as like a trim. So go ahead and match up the bottom. I did not do any interfacing on my vinyl for this slip pocket. I figured I have, which I haven't, I don't think I went over yet. Well, I don't know because I haven't done my intro video yet, but if I haven't went over it in the intro, all the cotton, this print has Woven Fuse 1 and a layer of Decoville Light on it. All of the cotton. The side pieces that we're going to adhere to the side of our bag, they all have 1 layer of Decoville Light. And then the bottom panel, that is what sits on the floor or table when you sit your bag down, that has the stabilizer of Decoville Heavy is what I used for it. Okay, now this is what we have. We matched up the bottom edge and we clipped that and the sides, and we have this little bit of extra up here. We want to top stitch, and I want to do 2 lines. I want to top stitch next to this edge, and I want to top stitch next to this edge. That was really hard to say. I'm going to go ahead and start on the one towards the center first, and then I'm going to come back and start on the one at the top, and then I'm just going to base the whole thing all the way around. So let's top stitch that inner one first. Take your time. Actually, we could have just kept going around, but since I already pulled it out to save on thread, you could have just went all the way around, and then anyway, we'll go ahead and just do what I originally said I was going to do here. Okay, you want this to look nice because you are going to see it on the outside of your bag. So you want to just take it easy, take your time if you have to. Ooh, I went a little too far. All right, now we're just going to baste. And before I finish, I always seem to like forget something or mess something up. My bad. Okay, hang in there with me. I want to put my handmade label. I already have it marked right here. I'm not going to tell you how to get the measurement for that because, I mean, you're going to put it where you want it. You might want it down further, up further. You might not want it on here at all. I just kind of figured out where I wanted it, centered it, so it'd be nice and centered in that spot, and that's where I'm going to put it. So, my bad. This isn't too far. I mean, instead of basting, I'm just going to hurry up and finish putting this on. So sorry. 1 second. Mark where these prongs go. Okay. Poke my holes. Here I thought I was prepared and ready to go. I always forget something. Okay. Just a second here. You want to do this now if this is where you're wanting it, because if you don't, you'll have to poke it through all of this, and then you'll see it on the inside of your pocket, and you don't want that. So let's see. Give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of duct tape on here, just so those prongs don't push through to the vinyl. Okay. It's not the prettiest. There you have it. Okay? Now we can finish. This is staying pretty good. I probably don't need all these clips. We can finish basting. Okay, my bad. Like I said, I always forget something. It wouldn't be one of my videos if I did it like perfectly through the whole thing, would it? Okay. Whoa. That is too cute. Okay, and then it depends on your fabric. Figure out which one you want to lay it on. I like this one. Isn't that cute? Little pocket. Okay, so just lay it right on top. And we're gonna baste it on, just like we just did, but onto the actual panel. Let's see, what else? Okay, I love this exterior pocket. How fun is that? And if you don't, I mean, I did, but if you don't like baste, you know, catch both panels, if there's a hole here, if when you're basting you kind of miss one edge or the, it's okay, because you're gonna have a 1/2 inch seam allowance when we're sewing everything together, so it'll be fine. What you want to do next is when you cut out your pattern pieces, you should have 2 that lay with the notch here and 2 that lay with the notch here. I went ahead and figured out which ones went where when I was doing it, and I made sure I put an L on the ones that's on the left side of my panel and an R on the ones that's on the right side of my panel. So I'll get rid of 2 of those. That way I just didn't get confused when it came time to sew them on. And I also drew a 1/2 inch seam allowance line. Even though I kind of have a spot I can follow on my machine, it is kind of nice to have something to follow on my fabric. And it's just something I do. You don't have to do that. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and lay this on here and clip it and sew it. Looks like mine is a little bit off, but that's all right. We'll fix it when we put the bottom on. No big deal. It's not off by much. When I cut, I either cut this a little too short or this is just a wee bit too long, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, let's go ahead and sew that at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm trying to kind of go in the order that the pattern goes in. So isn't that gonna be adorable? I'm gonna sew the other side on first, and then I will open them and top stitch them. So since this one is a little shorter, then I'm gonna make sure when I line it up, I'm lining it up on the top. That way the top, no matter what, I'll know is perfect. And then we'll clip. I may end up moving the camera down. I just feel like it sounds bad, but you know when you like do your hair and your makeup and then you're like, well, I don't have anywhere to go now. It was like pointless. That's kind of how I feel, like, man, I'm too pretty to like not show somebody, right? We'll see. I know you guys don't care about my hair or makeup. Which is funny because makeup, seriously, is eyeliner and mascara. That is it. I don't like actually do my makeup. If I did a tutorial for makeup, it would literally take me like 5 minutes, like no lie. Okay, we're gonna top stitch. So leave this seam laying flat, just fold this over and top stitch. 1/8 of an inch. I try to keep a consistent top stitch length. Mine's been a 4. Some people like longer. I like the look that the 4 gives. Take your time. do a little bit of a back stitch. All right, same with this side. Okay. Awesome sauce. How pretty is that? Awesome. Cool. I don't know what I got on it there. It looks kind of shiny. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the other ones. Make sure we're good. Always double check before you sew because you do not want to unrip. And you want these notches to be toward the center because that's what our bottom panel is going to sew to. Or that's what we're going to sew our bottom panel to. I know what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clip both sides and then just go crazy. Okay, I'm not gonna go crazy, but you know what I mean. I'm just gonna clip both sides and then we'll just sew it instead of having to stop and clip again. Alrighty. All right, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Straight over here. Okay, and then we'll top stitch. This bag is so easy. I love Lauren's patterns. I do. They're just, the patterns are easy to follow. The bags are easy to make. They're just awesome. Okay. And another thing, I just ran out of bobbin. That was perfect, guys. Okay, another thing that I forgot to do that I'm going to do right now is I used a friction pen to make my marks up here, if you can see them right there. I should have ironed those away before I sewed all this vinyl. I want to carefully try to just get those off without burning my vinyl here. Okay, let me grab the other one real quick, 1 second. I would definitely suggest not making such a large line. Okay, and there we have it. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let me grab another bobbin. I have one that's kind of partially used. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it so we can use it up also. Okay. I don't really like having partial ones laying around because I never want to use them, and then it's like then I have more than I need laying around and all that good stuff. Whoa. Okay. Not sure how long this one will last. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my pattern just to kind of try to keep on track for you guys with the pattern itself. Next thing she has us do is add our bottom. I am not using purse feet, but if you did your seam allowances correctly, this bottom piece should fit right on top if you put your notches towards the center and all that goodness. So we will go ahead and line that up. Clip, oops, whoosh. Clip and sew, and top stitch, and all that good stuff. And we're gonna sew right next to the stabilizer, excuse me, not on it. I believe is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you printed it out at 100%, at what you're supposed to print the pattern out at. Am I here? All right, and then we're gonna gonna top stitch. Make sure this seam stays folded out or laying out, and then fold this right over top, top stitch. Okay, then we're gonna do the same thing to the other panel. It would be the front panel. We're gonna go ahead and lay the panel like so. And I wanna do the same exact thing I just did because I wanna be able to see where I'm going to stitch, okay? You would think you would lay it the other way around, like, you know, the bigger piece on the bottom type thing. But we wanna be able to see the stabilizer for our stitch, for our seam allowance. Yeah. I cut my one panel like wonky. It's straight. Everything else is lining up. It's just kind of off a little. I think it'll be fine. Okay. I try to stay consistent with my stitch length. I try to sew with a certain stitch length and top stitch with a different one. So if you're doing that also, try to remember to adjust that each time. Like I usually just go with 3.5 and 4. 3.5 is what I sew with and 4 is what I top stitch with. Just kind of my go-to numbers. So I did that at a 3.5, and we're going to top stitch at a 4. So I need to remember to change it, which I'm going to do right now. All right. Whoa, okay. Hi, Poppy. What you doing, buddy? All right, this is what we got. We're gonna go ahead, make sure all those square rings are folded down. We don't really need them to be right now, but I always like to do that. But we're gonna line up our edges here, and that's what we're gonna sew next, is our edges. So a lot of times I cut crooked, it happens. So just kind of try to make everything as nice and straight as you can. Poppy, would you like to say hi? Okay, hang on. Come here, Bubba. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Okay, I guess not. He doesn't want to say hi. Okay. Oh, now he's coming. Come here. Come here then. All right, if he comes back, I'll pick him up so he can say hi. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure your stitch length is where you need it. First sewing. I can't imagine my bobbin's gonna last too much longer. There wasn't a whole lot on it. All right, flip it over. I like this way better. I got mine way crooked. Okay. Make sure you cut your pattern pieces nice and straight. Mine is way wonky, but I want to make it work. Me and my squeaky chair. Okay. Just gonna have to make it work. Okay. All right. Then what she has us do, we're gonna box the corners, and then we're gonna go ahead and make our zipper panel piece. All right. We're gonna go ahead and take these and just kind of fold it in. And if you did your seam allowances right, everything should lay nice and pretty. I'm gonna go ahead, flip it over, because I got the side panel right now facing me. Okay, I wanna flip it over. That way I can see my stitching that I did earlier. Let's open this seam. I'll go ahead and put a couple clips. I'm not using Wonder clips, I'm just using these alligator clips, which I think will be fine, maybe. Okay. Now when we sew, we're gonna start and stop at this furthest line out, okay? The furthest stitch line out, not this inner one. And we're gonna sew a seam allowance right next to that stabilizer, just like we did when we were sewing the bottom panel on. That's why we did our stabilizer the way we did. It gives us something to follow. Make sure your side panel stays out, that seam. Start at that farthest stitch line out. Back stitch, take your time. Right next to that stabilizer, back stitch on that center seam. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Okay. This is the bottom of the bag. I started and stopped at that furthest stitch line. All right, let's go ahead and do the same exact, woo, okay. Okay, same exact thing on the other side. Okay, open that seam, throw some clips in there. All right, same thing. Whoa, there goes my clip. Okay. All right, this is what we have. That's the bottom of our bag. We just boxed our corners, okay? All right, we can trim a little of this off. I don't like to trim too much. I feel like it takes away the structure of the bag. So it's kind of like a, oof, that's even a little close for me. And it's a good 1/8 of an inch. See how kind of close I got right there? Yeah, I'd rather trim the lining than this, just because the material is thicker. It's a vinyl, it's like more sturdy material. I like to keep the sturdiness to the bag, I guess, in a way. But that's what we have. If you really wanted to, you could turn it right side out just so you can see all your seams and kind of get an idea what your bag's gonna look like in the end. But I'm gonna go ahead and just be surprised and move right on to my next, to the next part. Let's see, where can I put this? Okay, now we want to do our zipper panel. And I always take my zipper panel pieces, the pattern has these, cut them out, and I draw a line down 1 inch on all 4 of them, 1 inch down. I should move this down a little bit more. Okay, so I drew a line 1 inch, all short sides. I put 1/4 of an inch double-sided sticky tape on the end. I'm gonna peel it and fold it, that raw edge, right up to basically that line. Okay, so what you're getting is a 1/2 inch fold over here. That's why I did 1 inch, because when you fold it to that line, it makes a 1/2 inch fold. Let's go ahead and do that. The good thing about this double-sided sticky tape is when you go to put your zipper panel together, if one is a little bit longer than the other, you can unpeel it and re-stick it. It's kind of forgiving. It's really sticky, but you can fix it if it's off a little. So you can get really anal. Sometimes I try to get it perfectly. You know, I'll try to clip them together and fold them just right, which is great, but this works too. Just fold them down that 1/2 inch, and usually it doesn't have too many problems lining up. And like I said, you can just adjust it and fix it also if it doesn't. I do like using these zipper panels for my bags. I like the way they're installed. I like to have a bag close with a zipper panel. It's my go-to. Do I actually like making them? No. I don't really like making them. Okay, so where your zipper closes, you're going to want to, if you're using zipper by the yard, I don't use any of the other zippers, but either way, where your zipper closes, it's going to be open like this. You're going to fold that over and get like a 90-degree type thing. I would suggest sewing it, just doing a little basting stitch to make it kind of keep its shape, if you will. My industrial doesn't really like to do it, but it works. I think my industrial just likes to sew through thick stuff, so if anything's too thin, it kind of throws a fit. But that's just my problem. Okay, and you want to try to make sure they're nice and even. If you want to mark them to be exact, you can. I'm not. I'm eyeballing it and just going for it. Okay. One second. This does make it just a little bit easier when you're trying to lay it on your panel pieces if they're already folded. All right, so there you have it. They're both folded. All right, this is my exterior. This is my lining. I want to go ahead and take my exterior first. The zipper is going to close to my left. So I'm going to do exterior right side up, and then this right side down. Zipper closes to the left. Put it in here about yay far away. You don't want to go all the way to the end. You want to, like right now, I don't know, what is that, 1/2 inch? Probably, something like that. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I eyeball it. I'm sure it says in the pattern. I never measure it. I just throw it on there and go for it. I'm not a very good tutorialer. Is that a word? I'm not a very good teacher. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know like what it is, but you just throw it on there. Yeah, just do this, you know, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, that's me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and baste this on. It's about 1/8 inch from the edge. We're just gonna go ahead and sew it on. Start on your zipper tape. Don't start at the very end. Just make sure you're sewing on the zipper tape. Hey, buddy. And don't sew past your zipper panel, because then you'll see the stitching on your tape, and we don't want that. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. They're right sides together. And we're gonna leave it laying like this where the zipper is on the top for now. We're gonna flip it over here in a second. Unzip that zipper. Right sides together. So your exterior and your lining are right sides together right now with your zipper in between. We're going to flip it over now so we can see our stitch line that we already made, which you guys probably can't see because it's all black. But we're gonna go ahead and line up the edges of our lining and our exterior so they're perfect down here. And this is where I was saying if it's off a little bit down here and it's not perfectly even, you can unstick it and adjust it. So let's use all these clips here. Let's see. Okay, and actually mine is spot on. Awesome. Okay, but if it wasn't and my lining was longer or whatever, you would just unpeel it and restick it and make it work. Yeah, all right, I can see my stitching I already made, so I want to make sure I go in closer towards the zipper teeth from that stitching. It's about 1/4 inch, something like that. And remember, sew on your panels, not on the zipper tape, because you don't want to see that stitching. Okay, let's possibly, there we go, move that out of the way. Now we're going to top stitch So zip your zipper back up. If you folded these down already, you shouldn't even have to worry about the zipper pull flying off because it's folded. But all right, if you're not using vinyl, I would recommend ironing this. It would lay nicer, but I'm using vinyl, so I can't. But we're just going to take this and put them wrong sides together so your zipper is hanging out, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and clip all the way around. Well, not all the way because the zipper is obviously on one side, but I'm gonna do a bunch of clipping here. You could throw some steam on the waterproof canvas if that's what you're using for your lining. Just be very careful that you don't touch that vinyl. You do not want to melt your vinyl because then you'll have to start over, recut it. It would just not be fun. Just saying. All right, we'll do one more right there. Looks a little wonky. It'll be fine. I want to go ahead and start right here, and we're just going to top stitch all 4 corners of the panel, okay? So if you're using a certain stitch length for top stitching, make sure you adjust that now. On all these folded ends, the one that's next to the zipper tape and the short ends, make sure you try to make it nice and neat because those will be visible. So just take your time. Let's cut this off right now. Make sure as you're going, even though it's clipped, make sure as you're going, the waterproof canvas doesn't slip because it's underneath, you can't see it, and you don't want to sew it wonky and then your zipper won't close. Whoops, here we go. So like I said, just take your time. This won't be too bad. We can just sew straight down. I'm surprised my bobbin is still lasting this long. All right, and now since we're still messing with this, I want to go ahead and fold it together. Don't include this little tail, just your zipper panel, and find the center and just give it a little snip. Okay. And now we're just going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the other side. I am, however, going to put a clip on here for now, just so I don't accidentally unzip my zipper and it flies off. All right, right side up exterior, right side down zipper. We're going to, let's see. When you're doing it, make sure you're matching those short ends. Okay, see my short end? It's flush. We're clipping it to the side of the zipper. So make sure those short ends are nice and matched. Here, baby. Here. Okay, someone finally wants to say hi. We'll stop for a second and say hi. All right, say hi, Poppy. You say hi. Say hi to the people. Do you want to sew? Do you want to sew? No? Is that all? You just want to say hi? What's this? No? Okay. All right, well, tell him, hey, tell him bye. Bye, people. Say bye-bye. You're a good boy. Oh, goodness, are you sleepy? Kisses? No? Okay, you go be a good boy. Why don't you go take a nap? Whoa, go take a nap. You're fine. All right, extra kisses. Good boy. Okay. I did not drop him, I swear. He's fine. See, he's fine, aren't you? You're smiling. You're just fine. Shake it off. Okay. Back to the bag. You're a good boy, Pops. You're a good boy. He's like, well, if she's just going to be throwing me around, I'm going to go in the other room. Silly puppy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. All right, when you get up here, just make sure these edges are flush. Even as I'm sewing, when I get down to here, if I see that it's off a little, I can just stop sewing, leave my presser foot down, peel, you know, readjust, whatever I have to do. So I'll go ahead and start sewing. Basting it on, remember to start on top of the panel You don't want someone seeing your stitch lines on that zipper tape that's going to hang out. Okay, let's unzip that. Oh, I had a bobbin. Oh my goodness. The whole time. That was it right there. Okay. At least this time I won't run out so fast because my other bobbins are all the way full. All right. Hopefully this is the last bobbin change. I doubt it. There'll probably be one more. Okay. Let's see. Well, that was just silly. All that pinning and now I gotta go do it all over again. Okay. Zip that back up a little. All right, just a second. You think I'd know what my machine sounds like when it runs out of bobbin now, but I do not. Okay. Once again. Move that out of the way. All right, I'm going to zip this back up for right now, just to make sure my short ends are matching. They are. So let's keep going. Cool. All right. We still have the zipper pointing up, which means our exterior that we just put on is up also. Your linings should be facing right sides together. So your right side down on top of that zipper. We're gonna flip it over so we can see our stitch line. So make sure those short ends are lined up. And clip again. You don't have to clip if you are confident enough to not clip and just adjust as you go. More power to you. I like to clip. Just, yeah, I feel like I get a better outcome when I clip, but that's just me. Okay, 1/4 of an inch. And now you can start all the way at the end, not just on that zipper. Actually, just start on the zipper. I don't know what I'm thinking. Start where the zipper starts. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. Okay. This zipper pull is the coolest. Okay. The zipper by the yard, the zipper tape I got from Lauren over at moremeknow.com. Gorgeous teal color. And this zipper pull is, I love it, chunky. It says handmade. I got it from Etsy from My Handmade Space. Love it. Anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and zip this up all the way. Same thing we just did earlier. I should have sewed, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. When you were putting these together, you want to sew all the way to the end because I'm trying to top stitch and it's flopping open. So I'm just going to fix that really quick. That's my bad. Go all the way to the end. I think I'm going to have to do that on the other end. I don't know what I was thinking. No, I did. Okay. Woo. All right. A top stitch from my exterior side. So that's how I want to clip. Okay. Okay. Do this one. Clip. 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 All right. Looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and top stitch just like we did the other side. Stitch length back up to a 4, at least for me. I'm gonna make sure everything's nice and where it needs to be. tussle over your clips. That would not be good. Okay. All right. And then make sure you find your center of that panel as well. Okay. All right. Our zipper panel is finished. Now we are going to go ahead. I'm just double checking. Yep. According to the pattern, we do the lining next, which I've kind of already made a mark. I will get my ruler out so I can show you. I did not follow the pattern for this, but I found the center of my lining piece, made a mark, then I measured down. I believe it's 2.5, yeah, 2.5. I kind of drew a line with a friction pen so it'll go away when I iron it. So 2.5. I found the center and I went down 2.5, made a line, found the center of my little zipper pocket. Her pattern piece has this square, or I'm sorry, this rectangle kind of marked. So when I cut the pattern piece out, I cut out that hole also. So when I trace my pattern onto my waterproof canvas, I trace that rectangle as well. That way I already got my rectangle marked when it comes time to do this part and I don't have to sit here and like figure it out. Anywho's, I found the center, I made a mark. I'm gonna line those marks up, line the top of my zipper pocket panel piece, whatever you wanna call it, line that up with the line that I drew. And this is where we're gonna sew. I'm gonna hold this down. I'm gonna take the end of this, however, and kind of fold it up and back over on itself just a couple times. Just squish it in there, and I'm gonna clip. It just kind of, you don't have to do this. It's overkill, I know that it is, but I don't have to worry about my zipper pocket thing falling or moving. And I can just flip it around, shove it under my machine, and sew my rectangle. That's the only reason I do that. All right, I'm gonna do 2 parallel lines. You could sew the whole entire rectangle if you wanted to, but I just like doing the lines. Spin it. Make sure you're nice and even. Otherwise, when you flip it around, it'll be wonky. Okay. Okay, and I've had my share of wonky zippers. They're not cool at all. Okay, get rid of that. All right, let's take these clips off. We don't need those anymore. I'm sorry, these were right sides together. I didn't mention that. Right sides together. Now, on her pattern piece, she had these notches drawn too. So draw those, and we're going to cut down the center in between these lines, but stop where that arrow is and cut to the corner, not past or on your threads. But stop at that point and then cut down there. So that's a nice thing to have if you're using her pattern. Just cut it out when you cut the pattern piece out before you draw it onto your fabric. I just use my seam ripper to get it started, the hole. I could probably use my scissors, but I just always use my seam ripper. That's what I do. Okay, and I will cut these and show you what I meant about getting really close to those threads. Okay. All right, so we just cut down the center. I stopped at that point and I cut to the corner. This is where I like to use my iron, especially when using waterproof canvas. I'm gonna go to my iron, I'm gonna fold this down and give it a little bit of steam. I'll fold this up, give it some steam, all 4 sides, and then we're gonna flip it to where it's wrong sides together. Whoa. Go ahead and do that. And this also gets rid of those marks that you made. If you made marks like I did with your friction pen, this is where that'll erase it also. trying really hard not to use too much steam. My iron needs cleaned really bad, and it's been leaving stains on my stuff. Not cool. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it through. I always make this more difficult than it needs to be. I don't know why. It's just what I do. Okay. I am going to go back to my iron and kind of give this another press with some steam to kind of keep it to lay flat. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, my dog is being really weird, so if he keeps doing that, I'm gonna turn the camera. He's gonna stop. Okay, so he was like just digging like crazy. Just like at the corner of the chair. He's such a goofball. Okay. Anyway. Oh, okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get our zipper. I want it to close to the left, to my left. So when it closes, the zipper pull will be to the left. Go ahead and grab it. I wanna make sure my edges kind of line up. So when I sew, I'm sewing through the zipper. So make sure when you cut your zipper, I always cut mine the same exact width as my zipper pouch. Not pouch, zipper panel piece. I am using black thread. I would recommend changing that out and going with a matching color. I'm gonna be a rebel and just go with it. So here's hoping I don't mess up, right? All right, grab that zipper pull, keep it out of the way. And zip it. Okay, take your time. Make sure everything's nice and flat. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. One more. Okay. Get out of the way. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. It's definitely a contrasting thread. It could definitely be better. Like I said, use a contrasting thread, because when I overlap, you can kind of really definitely tell. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But we're gonna leave this open all the way. Well, actually halfway for now. Flip it over. This is what it should look like. The wrong sides are together. We're gonna go ahead and take your other piece and do right sides together, flop it on there, and we're gonna sew the top and the sides. Leave the bottom open, okay? We're going to fold these up also. Well, I don't always fold these up. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It does make finishing your bag a lot easier if you fold these edges up on the bottom. I'll show you what I mean. Lauren does it on her bags as well. It's kind of neat in the end. Like I said, I've learned everything. I've learned everything from Lauren. So some things I've learned, oh my gosh, on my own. YouTube, just other videos in general, but Lauren is a very, very good teacher. She's awesome. Again, if you're not in her Facebook group, it is So Whatever. I don't know. I've just always had nothing but positive stuff for her videos, and there's Seems Legit. She's awesome. Who else? Saya Swag. swag bags, Saya Swags bags, I can't remember, but she's on YouTube. All right, this is the bottom. I'm just rambling here. All right, what I want to do is just fold these out just a little bit. So you got like, I don't know, 1/2 inch. Okay. Fold it down. Yeah. And then fold the other one down. So they're kind of, anywho's, that's what I'm doing right there, if you're wondering. I'm not pressing it. I mean, I could, but I'm not. So this is just a quick little tip. I'm just doing like 1/4 inch. Seen a lot. Okay. Back stitch over that zipper. Okay. Same thing when you get to the other end of the bottom, or whatever, that sounded really dumb. The other end of the bottom. When you get it back around to the bottom, whatever, however you want to say it. Fold it to where you got the raw edges pointed out. I'll show you again when I'm done here. Okay. And like I said, you could press this before you even start sewing. But I'll put you down just a little bit. Okay. So we folded those edges out. Okay. If you want to give it a quick press, you can. I'm not. So anyways, that's what we got. That's our zipper pocket. Now we can undo it all the way. We're gonna go ahead and move that out of the way. All right, this is our other one, okay? It's a pattern piece. I made my own zip pocket pattern piece. We're gonna go ahead and do that really quick. I did make some marks. I found my center and I made a mark. And then, because this is what I had handy, I got my 3-inch ruler and measured from one side over 3 inches and made a mark. Same thing over here, made a mark. So these are in 3 inches and this is a center line, okay? This is the width of the lining by 7.5. This is my own personal, whatever. The width of the lining by 7.5. Flip it over, okay? This is my top, whatever. Either way, it could have been a top because it's not directional. But I drew a line 1 inch down from the top, added my 1/4 inch double-sided sticky tape along the edge. We're gonna peel that and bring this raw edge to that line. Okay. Okay, so essentially it just gives us a 1/2 inch fold over because we're using waterproof canvas. That's the only reason we're doing it like this. If you're using cotton, you would have to do it differently. But yeah, we have our 1/2 inch fold over. We're going to top stitch that really quick. And again, I'm using black thread. Choose what thread you want. Is top stitched. Now, a couple different ways you can do this. You have the right side up of your lining piece, okay? And this is how we want our pocket to be, okay? But we can eyeball this, which is gonna be difficult. So what I would suggest is take a friction pen is what I use, some sort of fabric utensil that will erase or come out. These notches right here, we're gonna measure up. We're gonna figure out where you want it. And I'm like, yeah, this looks like a good spot. You know, you can move it up and down, whatever. But you're gonna measure up from this edge up, and it looks like it's roughly 1.5 inches. So let's move this slip pocket thingy out of the way. Let me flip this around so I can see it in my style. Okay, here's the bottom. Measure up 1.5 inches on both of these notches. That's why it's nice to have a nice long ruler. Okay, draw a line. Make sure you're using a fabric erasable type marking tool. All right, that's what we have. 1.5 inches up from here. Go ahead and lay this how you want it. All right, but we're going to put it right sides together. So this is how it will end up in the end. All right, your top stitch edge up here, right sides together, and we're gonna line this raw edge up with that line we just drew, okay? No need to clip, just to line it up. I mean, you can clip so it doesn't move around while you're trying to get under your needle. I'm going to do 1/4 inch seam allowance. My preference, you can use 1/2 inch. It's up to you. Just as you go, make sure you keep it lined up with that line that you drew. Okay. Good deal. Now, fold it back up. If you want to press it, you can, but since I've already made my marks, I'm not going to press mine because I don't want it to erase my marks since I used a friction pen. So this is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and just make sure that's flat. Clip these edges so they don't move. Okay. All right. Now it's up to you how you do this. If you don't want these little 3-inch pockets to be usable, you can start here if you like. Sew all the way down, sew across, sew up, back down, over. It's really however you want to do it, but we're basting the sides on, and we want to sew on each of these lines that we drew, okay? So however you want to do it. I like to kind of keep pens and stuff in here, so what I'll probably do is, in order to do that, just take a random pen. You want it to stick out of the pocket so far. Right here's the top. So like right there. I don't want the pen to fall down any further than this. So I could take my friction pen and kind of make a mark where I want it. Take my ruler and just measure up from this folded edge where that mark is. And mine is roughly 2 inches, 1 3/4, something like that. So I'll make a mark, okay? Clip that back closed so you can see kind of where my mark was. Anyway, it's kind of up a little higher than where I drew the line. 1 3/4 up, and I drew a line across. If you want it done on both sides, go ahead and do both sides. What was it, 1 3/4? We might as well, right? 1 3/4. And that way you can put pens in these little pockets. And yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start right here at the top of my slip pocket and baste it down to that line for my pens and go over, back over. It's kind of like traveling. I'm just gonna do it and you'll see how it gets done. These edges, just get kind of close to the edge. We're just basting the sides together is all. You get down to that line, turn. These stitches won't be extremely noticeable, but they'll be noticeable if someone really wants to look in there. So just try to make them nice and pretty. Okay, and we're gonna turn around and travel back out. Okay, and then continue down. And that's our folded edge. Now we're at that 3-inch line we drew. Turn it and sew all the way up, and I'm going to backstitch a little bit over where the slip pocket stops. And turn it back around and follow it back down. Try to keep your stitching the same. I mean, like I said, these won't be extremely noticeable because it'll be inside the bag. Go to that center mark, same thing. Back down. Keep that in for now. We're gonna go to that line we drew. Okay. Okay. Woo! Now I used the contrasting thread, so now you're gonna be able to see exactly where I sewed. Let's test out our pen pocket. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at that. Awesome. It could have went in a little further, but I like that. All right. So that is that. Here's our slip pockets. Looking good. Now, we need to find the center of the tops of our linings. So go ahead and fold those in half. Grab your scissors, a little snip. Let's grab our zipper pocket lining. Find the center of it. All right, now we're just gonna put this thing all together. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my bag I'm currently using, and I just wanna see which side has what pockets on the inside. So, close to that. Okay, I'm not really gonna explain. I'm just kind of trying to figure out where I want my zipper to close and what I want to be inside my bag. Like I want my zipper to close this way, right here. So when I unzip it and I reach in, I'll have another zipper right away, okay? It's completely up to you how you do this. It's just preference. So I'm gonna find my center snips and lay those together. Then do a clippity clip. Okay, let me check really quick. I do not remember what the seam allowance is for this. Based it in place at 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so it's 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna go and just kind of follow my basting stitches when we basted the zipper panel. I'm just gonna follow those stitches. It's basically the same thing, basting. All right, so we have the one side. We don't have to top stitch, nothing like that. We're gonna go ahead and take our other one. This one we just did, flip it over, right sides together. We grab that lining, not the lining, the zipper panel, pull it out, find your snips, and same exact thing on this side. If you've made the Emily tote, and there's a couple other bags, you do this part, but then there's like a skinny little piece that you sew on also. This doesn't have that. This is just this piece. I like both ways. I've done them both and I'm kind of good with whatever. So I would not recommend one over the other because I like them both. I thought I ran out of bobbin again. I don't know why that just, okay. All right. Oh. Another thing I want to do really quick before I get too ahead of myself, I want to add my zipper end on really quick. This one I purchased from an Etsy shop. I do not remember the name. I don't know what happened to the little screw. It is not in here. It was, I swear. What happened to it? Okay. It's not in here. I gotta go grab a screw. 1 second. I don't want to pause the video. It's gonna be kind of a pain to add it all back together, so I'm just gonna grab a screw really quick. You don't mind, do ya? Okay, I got the screw. Oh, I thought maybe I dropped it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just fold these under. okay? And shove this on the end as best as I can. Flip it over so I can see the bottom where the hole is. And whoops, just screwed on. A little bit magnetic, so that's kind of nice. Lauren at normyknow.com does have some of these, not strap ends, zipper ends. And they're a little bit, she used to have smaller ones, and these are just a little bit chunkier. These aren't hers, but she does have some chunkier ones now. I cannot wait till I run out of these so I can order some of hers because I bet they are awesome. Just saying. All right, I'm gonna unzip this. I'm gonna fold this end in, and I'm gonna kind of clip it to the zipper in a way so it doesn't get caught in my seam allowance when I'm sewing. So I think one will keep it out of the way. Same thing we did on the other side. We're just gonna sew these sides shut. Let's see, I wanna start up here. Okay. Just don't get in a hurry, take your time. It seems like whenever I get in a hurry, like things just go wrong, like fast. Nothing goes right when I'm in a hurry. Okay, a little bit more than a 1/2 inch seam allowance. It might say in the pattern, I'm not sure, but I used a 1/2 inch for the exterior, and I know I want my interior, my lining, to be a little wider so it fits snugly inside the bag. So that's why I say a little bit bigger than, whoa, a 1/2 inch. Do the other side. Same thing. The lining is a little bit different than the exterior because we don't have the bottom panel, because this will end up getting sewn together. Go ahead and unclip this if you clipped it, your zipper that is. Unzip it all of the way, shove it back in there. This is what we have. Unzipped, I shoved my zipper end inside. Awesome. Now we get to put it all together. This is the exciting. What did I do with it? Okay, there it is. Okay, before we do that, let's quickly trim our seam allowances down. I'm not gonna trim them down to 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna trim them down to about 1/4 of an inch. I know I could go smaller. I just feel like it doesn't make the bag as sturdy as it should be. I feel like it's weakens those seams. I don't know, maybe it's just me being crazy. That could possibly be. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn this. Leave the bottom unsewn. Turn it right side out. I will I will turn this up because you're not gonna be able to see very well what I'm doing. Okay. Right sides out. Now we gotta figure out what side we want. Like, this is my front right here. And we gotta figure out what we want showing. Like, this is my front, so when I'm carrying it, this is what I want people to see because it's gonna say handmade and it's that little slip pocket and everything. So if I'm holding it, like do, and I wanna reach in and get something, what do I want to be on this side of the bag when I reach in? I want it to be my slip pockets. You might want it to be the other side, but I want it to be the slip pockets. So make sure those sides are touching the outside of the bag and the slip pockets. Shove that in there. Okay. Make sure this is down and out of the way. The bottom of the lining, where those notches and stuff are, you're going to kind of fold it up. Kind of fold it up out of the way so it sits in there flat. Make sure that zipper is down and out of the way and match up your seams. I like to nest mine. So this one's gonna go this way and this one's gonna go this way. And I just kind of push them right up next to each other. And throw a clip or so in there. I like to do at least 3 clips. One on the very center of the seam and one on each side. And I'm gonna do the same to the other side. Just make sure your lining is kind of squished up in there, the bottom of it, so you can really get to it. Another reason I don't like to cut my seam allowances down really short, because if you did want to open that seam allowance instead of nesting at 1/4 inch, you can still open it. I know you probably can't see it. You can still open it and it'll lay flat. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of whatever you decide. Let me see, how am I going to sew this like this? Okay, once I have 3 on each side, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that's laying in there good. Give it a little bit of a stretch and just continue clipping. I'll do about 3 or so on this side, then I'll flip it around, do 3 or so on the other side. Kind of give it a tug from the center. Okay. I always use a lot of clips. I'd rather use a bunch of clips and not have it move around than hardly use any clips and then have a big old mess and have to resew. All right. Finish up. If you did all your seam allowances according to the pattern, everything should fit very nicely. It is looking very good right now. Oh, my stomach's growling. Oh my goodness. Oh, I am hungry. Guess I'll have to get me a snack after this. Okay, let's see. 3 more clips. We should be good. Whew. Okay, I feel like I have dog hair all over my shirt. I probably do. All right, back down. Move you, so maybe you can see a little better. All right, this, I just want to make sure I get it right. 1/2 inch. All right, let me double check. Yes. 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm just going to start anywhere because this isn't going to show. All this is doing is just sewing everything together. Also, you can feel your square rings that you put on your strap connectors. Make sure those are out of the way. If you feel like one's going to be in your way, just unclip, push it down, and then clip your bag back up and move on. I can feel mine and I can tell they're out of the way. Not worried. Just make sure you don't want to sew through those. That would not be good. Okay. Back stitch when you get to seams and the side panels that we sewed on. I back stitch when I get to those. Make sure your seams are nested nicely when you get to them, those side seams. You guys cannot see, I'm sorry. What is that? Oh, that's a side seam, or a side panel. Whew. All right, we're getting there. This is the fun part. You get to see your bag turn into, well, a bag. It's exciting. The best part of the whole entire time that you spend sewing. Just flipping it right side out in the end and seeing if you did it right. Oh, I have done all of this and flipped a bag right side out and realized I sewed one of the exterior panels on upside down. And I had to undo it all. It was awful. I was so mad at myself. Lots of back stitching here. Okay. Almost. Hey, bear with me. Hang in there. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna move you back up again. Sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, all right, okay. How many times can I say that? Sorry. Why am I saying sorry? Okay, we have 1/2 inch all the way around. Pull the lining out, which is so easy to turn this bag when we don't sew this bottom. Reach in, grab a corner, and just start, I'm gonna stand up. Start yanking it through. Be careful. It'll be easier than when you leave a little hole in the bottom. You still don't want to rip your fabric, so take your time. This bag is so pretty. I love this fabric. Okay, just poking these corners out. Other side. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead. Stuff that lining in there. Now this is where it gets, my shorts were right enough. This is where it gets a little funky because it wants to just stick straight up. You don't want that. You want this to fold down, okay? That's what you want your edge to look like. You don't want your zipper panel sticking up. But when you fold it in, don't just hold it and fold it over. You want to pull that lining down, make sure it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain, but anyway, you want to make sure that is definitely folded over so you have a flat edge like so. Isn't that just adorable? Vinyl on the inside. Okay, it looks like everything's gonna fit nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch first, and then I'm gonna sew up the bottom. It doesn't really matter which way we do it. It's kind of up to you. We've already shoved the lining in here so we know it's gonna fit, so we don't have to worry about unstitching if we sew the pockets and the bottom shut, because we already know it's working. So, all right, if you used vinyl and waterproof canvas and like thick materials, this is gonna be kind of thick. So take your time, make sure everything's, roll that seam, I guess, nice, so it's all sitting in there good. Make sure these connectors are down. I mean, you'll see it when we get to it, and you'll know to push them out of the way, hopefully. Okay, these seams are a butt to roll. What the heck? Okay, I'll get to it. Let's go over here. There we go. My seams are being a butt. Okay. It'll have to do. All right, that's what one side looks like. Oh, this is itchy. Let's go ahead and do the other. Clip. Couple clips on each side of that center. You see the seam right here? I didn't put a clip on it because it's pretty thick. I feel like it's probably just going to break my clip. So I'm going to put it on each side of that side seam. All right. Has anyone ever heard of Stitch Fix? It's an app I have on my phone, and they send you clothes. Depending on how often you want the clothes, you can do it every 2 weeks, once a month, however often you want them. But anyway, they'll send you a box of clothes in your size and kind of your style. You pick what you like online, and you can try them on, and if they don't fit, you can send them back. It's $20 for shipping, and if you do find something you like, The $20 goes towards that to buy it. Some of the stuff is kind of expensive, but I've been doing it for a while and I kind of like it. I found a couple dresses that I like. Maybe the next video I do, I'll wear one of the dresses and kind of show it off a little. But I don't know why I brought that up. I think I should be getting a Stitch Fix here soon. I guess that's probably why I brought it up, because I heard someone go by really slow. I was thinking, ooh, that could be my package. But yeah, if anyone's ever used them, I mean, I kind of like them. It's just some of their stuff is expensive. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. And right now, it's kind of hard to, some stores have their dressing rooms closed, so you can't try clothes on. So it is kind of nice to be able to try clothes on. It's a pain because you have to wait for them to get here and then you have to mail them back and all that. But I don't know, if you're an online shopper, just an idea of something different you could do and try. I don't get paid to tell anyone about it or anything either. I'm just kind of excited to get my next box. Okay, I should probably, I know you're probably not even gonna be able to see what I'm doing, but I'll move you down anyway. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see anything, but all right. I am just top stitching, making sure my zipper panel is folded in towards the lining. These seams are very thick. Take your time. Squish that bag all over the place to get it nice and, not level, but nice and flat in there. This is my front side. I'm gonna be extra careful. So I get my stitches nice and neat. Go back to that. Nope, not yet. Thick. This part makes me warm. Makes me warm. Okay. Make sure your zipper end and pull are both out of the way when you do get close to these sides. Ooh, I think I just made a wrinkle. I hope not. Okay. Uh-oh. Come on, buddy. Here we go. That might be... It happens. I got a little bit of a wrinkle over there on the side. That's all right. It's out of this discount. It's not that noticeable. Okay. Close. Almost there. Okay. Before I move you guys back up, I'm gonna go ahead and sew the lining shut as well. And then I'll pick the bag up. I am going to singe these threads really quick. Before I forget. Okay. Go ahead, reach in your zipper pocket, pull it out, just your zipper pocket. Then reach inside your zipper pocket, all the way inside. It's gonna seem odd, but pull out your lining. Grab the bottom of your lining and pull it through that zipper pocket. You're thinking, what? That's not possible. Okay, you're probably not thinking that. You're probably just thinking this lady is weird. But yeah, we're gonna pull our lining through that zipper pocket. You can do it. Use your muscle, put your back into it. Okay. You already have your notches. Make sure those are nice and even, and we're gonna go ahead and clip along the bottom edge. It looks all wrinkly and you're like, where's the bottom? You've sewed the edge, the side right here. Here's your notch in the corner, and this is your long edge. Just start clipping and it'll work itself out. You'll see. Move it around, do what you gotta do. You're not gonna be able to lay it perfectly flat because it is shoved through that zipper pouch. So just do your best to line up that long edge and clip. You can always readjust once you get it under your sewing machine. Okay. All right, that's what mine looks like. I'll go ahead and do a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch, 5/8, something like that. And adjust as you go so you don't have any wrinkles. Clip those. We're going to take these corners, open them up. I like to nest again those seams, the side seam and that bottom seam that you literally just sewed. Nest those. Let's see. I like to clip each side of that seam and then one on each end. Oh, my stomach is growling. All right, same thing we did on the outside. We're just going to sew it, but we can start at the very end. I'll show you here. Let me sew it first and I'll show you. On the exterior when we did this, remember we started and stopped at the furthest stitch line. This time we're just gonna start and stop at the end. That's all. Okay. So it was the same thing we did on the exterior. It just, we went from one end to the next. Let's go ahead and do that on the other side. That's why I don't like to cut my seam allowances down too short, because then when I nest, it all kind of just works out. Okay. Again, just a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch. Back stitch that center seam. Okay. Oh, I ran out of bobbin. What? Jeez. I'm going through the bobbin like crazy today. I swear we're wound all the way, I promise. Okay. I'm going to stitch a little bit more on that one since I ran out of bobbin right at the end. Okay. Let's kind of go over that just a little bit more. Okay. Good deal. All right. Before we shove this back in there, let's trim those seam allowances down. I'm not worried about the bottom one, just those corners that we just boxed. Let's trim those down. All right, now we can shove that back inside that zipper pocket. Whew. And then back inside the bag. All right, before I get too crazy, go ahead and get this zipper pocket. And when we sewed this, remember I folded the ends up? That kind of helps it, I'm trying to do this for you and not at me, but it helps it keep its shape. But I gotta do it my way here. I should have pressed it, it would have been a lot easier. It would have kept its shape a little better. But it's working. Just fold your raw ends in toward the inside, the raw side, the wrong side, whatever you want to call it. You will be able to see your stitching. That's why I would suggest using a thread that matches. So I just folded the edges in, and I'm just going to go ahead and stitch. I'm going to do about a 1/4 inch stitch allowance. All the way from one end to the next. let's shove that back in. Whew, it is warm in here. My puppy is being so cute right now. It's not even, it's just adorable. He's so cute. He's sleeping in the chair. Okay, I'm gonna move you back up and move you over. Whew. This was a fun bag, guys. Very fun. Okay. Let's see. Shove it in. All right. Whew. This is the bag. We have our handmade metal tag on the front. Cute. The other side. Oh. Ooh, my stomach is growling like crazy. Okay. All right, zip it back up. Let's see the top. Very nice. And zip it. That's the inside. You got your 2 slip pockets, your tiny little pen pockets over here, and then your zipper on the other end. And it all fits nice and snug. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm going to go ahead and I'll clip these on, but I'm going to rivet them off camera. So I'll do that really quick. So I can kind of hold it up and see how I like it. I love this blue. It's such a bright blue. It's so pretty. Okay. All right. Zip it. Shove my little, straighten my pants out. Okay. Shoo. Is this not adorable? Let me see. What do we have here? Let me get in the bag. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any money, guys. I'm a dork. Okay. Is that what women do? They bat their eyes like, I forgot my money. Don't mind me. I haven't been around adults too much lately. I need to get out. Okay, this bag is awesome. I love it. I may even carry it myself. I don't know. But okay, the vinyl was purchased at Hobby Lobby. The cotton was purchased at Joann's. No, at Walmart. At Walmart. It was like a, I don't know, 1 yard thing. It was hanging on the wall on a rack. Anyway. Yeah, waterproof canvas was purchased at fabrichwholesaledirect.com a long time ago. Hardware, these, normally I get them from Lauren at moremeknow.com, but these I actually got off of Amazon. So they're not the greatest, but they work. The rivets that I haven't shown you yet that I'm going to put in the straps, those are from moremeknow.com. As I said earlier in the video, the zipper tape is from moremeknow.com. The zipper pull is from My Handmade Space off of Etsy. My machine is, if you've seen my paper, you already know, but my machine is a Juki DU1181N. My thread is a T90. I think I got it from Sunny Sewing Machines, Sunny Sewing Supplies. I'll put it in the description below. I'm sure I'm missing something. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I try to answer every comment that I get or every question. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't, whatever, that's fine too. I mean, I'm not gonna be upset about that. I just like to see that people are coming to my channel and checking out my videos. Hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Hopefully we'll keep being more and more, and 6:30? Yeah, hopefully I'll be uploading more than I have been lately, but work has been keeping me pretty busy. I've been going to the gym, working out, all that good stuff. So just living life, and I'm finally getting back to sewing, so I'm really excited. I have been doing some cross stitch too, but that's kind of taken a hold also. Everything's just kind of taken a hold. but that's fine. It happens. All right, we are at 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is really good. Usually my videos last a while. I can't think of anything else. If anyone would like me to do like a live video, I haven't done one on YouTube yet. So I usually do them in the Sew Whatever sewing group, and I have done one in Barb's Got Interfacing, which is what I used on this bag also. Barb's bags got interfacing. Decaville light, Decaville heavy, that type of stuff I get from her. Awesome interfacing, awesome. Okay, enough rambling. I'm gonna get off of here, do my intro video for this video, and then I will get to uploading and editing and uploading and all that good stuff. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.